Meet Coach Boom Thomas. He looks like that because he's about to embark on the He looks like that because he's about to embark on the He looks like that because he's about to embark on the hardest college football rebuild in college football 27, as he will be taking over the 2026 Navy midshipmen. Now, Navy is a historical program, and they have their good years and they have their bad years. But Coach Boom, he will be looking to replace two Navy legends in Blake Horvath and Eli Heidenreich. But not only that, Coach Boom has some rules to follow. But before I go over those rules, I do want to let you guys know on defense, I do not switch. I pick one player and play them the whole play, except for on kickoffs and punts. Now, these are my Dynasty settings, and you guys are going to see here, I'm going to set the player transfer to 0, because in real life, in the military academies, you cannot transfer after your junior season. But I will allow players to transfer, I will just be doing it manual. So that'll take us into the rules then. So transferring. Now, I will encourage people to transfer before their junior season, just like in real life, if I think that they are good enough to play at the pro level or contribute to a big-time program. Has to be stipulations, though. If it's like a 5'11", 6-foot quarterback, I'm going to try and keep them as much as possible, especially if they're just like a scrambler. But, if it's like I just so happen to have a pocket passer and he's 90 overall, yeah, I'm going to send him on his way. He deserves it, right? So that's rule 1, I guess. And then the biggest rule is the NIL. We are not allowed to use any NIL. So naval programs, military academies, they do not give NIL to their players. So we will not be using any NIL in this. Every player we have will have 0 NIL given to them at all times. Now, with that being said, I am going to try and keep good players and get them drafted. And lore-wise, what we'll do is we'll say their deployment got deferred, just like how Eli Heidenreich's deployment got deferred. Next is going to be no redshirting. Now, this is a rule I'm not 100% certain on, but I think I'm just going to do it this way. I'm just going to not redshirt. I was going to do a rule where I would roll a die if their awareness was under 70 and they would redshirt, but then I thought about it and you're actually just benefiting. You're just benefiting the system at that point by being able to redshirt. So no redshirting at all. Next rule. No 4 stars unless we win a big game, conference championship game, CFP game. So each one of those, we get a 4-star, we can add them to the board. The chances of us getting one, though, with 0 NIL is pretty much 0. Now, with that as well, this is one I'm going to leave up to you guys if you guys like this rule or not. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a good idea. The 70% rule. So we have to have 70% of our recruits signed from the states that the military and the Naval Academy focuses on in real life. Those states are going to be Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, Florida, and California. They have to make up 70% of every recruiting class. And then finally is the roster stipulations. So I'm still kind of playing with the 180-pound players and seeing how that's going to look. I don't have a set number on that yet, but here are the roster limitations. So we must carry 4 fullbacks. They can be a converted tight end or a converted running back as well. Those still count. They just need to be in the fullback position. That's fine. And I'm allowed to play running backs at fullback as well and get my most athletic people in there and give us a shot. We need 4 slot backs. Now, slot backs are going to be guys who can play receiver and running back. Basically, 4 backfield threats as a running back. It's hard to quantify that really as to what the receivers would be, but basically 4 running backs that are backfield threats, which you'll see throughout the Dynasty. That's pretty much all we get. 3 quarterbacks minimum at all times, and then 6 undersized linemen, so under 280 pounds. And then, like I said, the 4 players under 180 pounds. I think I'm going to do the 4 players under 180 pounds in every recruiting class. Those are the rules. Those are the stipulations. Let's get into it. Now, in this first season, I'm going to do just play by the moments. Now, the reason I'm doing play the moments this time in Season 1 is just because Navy doesn't have a whole lot of their actual roster on the team. So a lot of the players, especially the important players, are actually not on the team. So a lot of starters aren't even real players on this team, which really sucks. I hate that, but that's how I'm going to do Season 1, just so we can get our own players in faster and we don't have to worry about these made-up players. And I don't know, I just don't like the idea of using a whole lot of made-up players, and you'll see I would rather use like the guys I get over these better created players because they're not real. Like, I want this to be authentic, and it's super hard to make an authentic Dynasty when the players you're using aren't even real. So they have like almost no freshmen that they actually recruited in real life on here, which for Navy it's not a huge deal because they're not getting 4 and 5 stars and stuff like that, but it sucks because they had some guys that I looked up and I was interested in using, but they're just not here. Now, they do have 2 quarterbacks that aren't on the roster as well, which is Jackson Gutierrez and Ryan Brass. Now, I'm going to change the backup quarterbacks eventually. I don't do it until about midway through season 1, I think, to Jackson Gutierrez and Ryan Brass. And then that makes it feel a little bit better. They have some decent, like, made-up running back, like Trayvon Madden. And he's decent, he's fast, but, like, I'm not going to use him. So he doesn't really ever play. So this first season, we're doing play the moments, and we're mostly just doing offensive moments because on defense, they have about maybe 4 or 5 starters total from the actual Navy team on defense. So it just throws off the authenticity, man, and I don't like it. So we're just going to do play by the moments here. This is the recruiting class. This is what it is. I'll go through the recruiting class more and more as we go through season 1. Now, these 2 right here, Javier Beauplan and Jalen Conrad, are the type of players that we're interested in. But being Navy, our main plan of attack here for recruiting should be getting a quarterback who can run the read option, and then an offensive line that can block the triple option as well. Let's go ahead and check out the roster we're working with. Now, first up is going to be Braxton Woodson. He is actually a pretty good quarterback. He is athletic. He's got pretty good accuracies as well, so he's not a bad option at all. And then below him, we're going to have Jackson Gutierrez and the Ryan Brawl that I had mentioned earlier, or Brian Hall. I can't remember now his name, but we'll see in a little bit. But yeah, so these 2 are the guys that I end up changing right here. So don't worry about it. I'm going to change their name. Braxton Woodson, 87 speed, 90 excel, decent accuracy, decent arm. Apparently he was only a 2-star. Dude is pretty decent though. 78 overall, but you don't really need a super high overall to run this triple option game. We are pretty decent at running back. We have a senior Isaiah Bryant and junior Charles Robinson. These guys are staples of this offense. They end up playing pretty well. Not foreshadowing too much, but they are good running backs, and I really like having them on the team. Charles Robinson is super consistent as well. Isaiah Bryant goes off this first season, so it's really excited to use him. And then Charles Robinson, coming out of high school, is only a 1-star running back. These are the kind of guys we're going to have to use in this dynasty to thrive. 1, 2-star guys who end up developing and turning into really consistent players. And then real quickly, we'll just run through the rest of the roster. Now, Vic Lasordi and Quentin Ezard are real players, so they are people we're going to be using this season. And then we're going to go over to receiver, and we have 4 senior receivers this season, so definitely a position of focus here. Tight end is fine for another year or 2, and then as we go to the offensive line, this offensive line is pretty experienced. Obviously, they were pretty good for the last 2 seasons. They've been able to carry this team, along with Blake Horvath and Eli Heidenreich. Our left tackle and left guard aren't fantastic, but as we get over to our center position here, we have an 86 overall center, or an 88 overall center, and then an 88 right guard. So they're pretty good, they're pretty talented. And then we'll go over to the defensive side of the ball. And this is what I was saying, there's not a lot of real starters over here, which kind of sucks. It's pretty unfortunate. Now, we have some players to look out for, like Tyler Ortega. Again, not a real guy, but he's a guy who really ends up showing up. The line, I didn't look into the line too much, so I don't know if like Arthur Gary's a real guy. I don't know 100% who's real and who's not on this. We have some real corners, though. I do know that. We're going to get to him in a second. I don't think Job Grant is real, but Job Grant kind of sounds like a real name, so he might be. Steven Kitchens may be very well as well, or real as well. Coleman Cawley is real, and he's very good in this game, and he plays very well. So I really like him. And then there's Taylor Ortega, beast, made-up player, but a beast. And then Ohina, he's a real player as well. I think Nicholas Bell might be real too, but I'm not 100% sure on that one either. Bell's traits and attribute caps and stuff like that. Just wanted to see what he was looking like as a 74 overall, see if he could develop into anything. Maurice Parker, I don't know if Maurice Parker is real either, but we'll take a look into him and see what he's like. Now, Weathersby, they have a corner in real life who was a 3-star, so I don't know if Weathersby's supposed to be him, and in the future I may change him. Now, I think Abraham is real, and then Giuseppe Sessi is a real player as well. So at least they have, like I said, 4 or 5 starters, and I think Matthew Segal is a starter as well, or a real player as well, but not 100% sure on that. But that's the roster. You're not going to see too much of the defense, unfortunately, this year one, just because I don't know how many of those guys are real and who's not real. And I want to be authentic. That's what this is all about, is being authentic and showing you guys real players, seeing how they developed. So we're going to get right into game one now. And I can promise you 2 things. Boom Thomas has got these boys ready for 2026 and for game 1 against FCS. First play from their own 6, fake to Licensor. Woodson's going to find his receiver over the middle. They're going to bring it up to about the 24-yard line. Next play, we're coming out in the stretch, giving it to Isaiah Bryant. He's going to bust up to the sidelines, and he is gone 75 yards later. Isaiah Bryant, he's going to find himself in the end zone. Let's go, Navy. Then we're going to get a crazy celebration here. Crazy celebration. It's tame. Big balls, brother. Big balls, brother. That's a crazy celebration for Navy cadets to have. Next play, we're going to get it to Woodson here. And we are up fast. 14-0. No problem at all. Disrespectful throws the ball at the other team. Big 4th down before halftime here. We're going to come out in the double wing. We're going to go ahead and run a halfback wham right up the middle with Vic Licensor. He's going to bounce off a defender and get a key 1st down. We're going to keep this drive moving here. See if we can score. We don't end up scoring before halftime, but that's all right. Defense is playing pretty well. We're up 21-3. We're going to hop into this moment here, see what we got. We're going to come back out in the double wing as you would expect. This is a tight formation. We're running a little bit quarterback read, it looks like here. I got to get better at getting these reads. I read it pretty well here, and I actually read it pretty well in the first year. In general, because our line is pretty good, so they get a pretty good push, but just, in the future, you guys will see a little bit. I struggle a little bit with the reads once our line isn't as good. I panic a little bit, and also I think jumping into the moments kind of eases my mind a little bit. I'm not worried. We're at 21-3. I don't have any stress, so it changes a little bit, as the time goes on and the games are a little bit more important and stuff. Here we're going to give one to Quentin right up the middle. Quentin's a dog. He ends up being a beast in this game. Maybe not this game, actually. The next game, but nice little 16-yard run there by him. Here we're going to run a little option again. We're going to go ahead and keep it with Woodson. Woodson's going to go ahead and take this one into the end zone. We're going to go up 28-3 here, and this is going to be the last play that we will see against FCS East. And before we go ahead and get in the FAU game here, we're going to go over the recruits a little bit here. Tyrese Sullivan is my first rated recruit right now, with Glenn Ebron being second. Sylvan is a 93-speed receiver, and I think I go back and show you guys here, but Ebron is going to be a gadget receiver with a 90 speed, I believe, or an 88 speed, somewhere around there. I think he's 90 speed, though. But those are the 2 key guys in this recruiting class for me. These are the guys I really want. Glenn has a good chance of playing quarterback, and he has like 85 throw power. We're looking at Jurgensen here, and I'm just showing you guys a little bit of like my strategy. I offered scholarships up front to everybody who didn't need NIL, and I changed this throughout. This is really my first Dynasty of this year, actually, and actually recruiting, and I'm not using NIL, so I'm kind of handicapping myself. Well, I'm really handicapping myself, but I have to do it a different way, so I offer the scholarships up front. I do end up, going back and forth and switching that a little bit, but I think for this first season, since we're getting lower rated recruits for the most part, I think this is a good idea. So I'm just going through and clearing some guys that have locked us out or who I'm not interested in anymore. And if they have a scholarship, basically, I'm not going to offer them because it doesn't matter, right? Like, I'm not going to get them if they have a scholarship from somebody else for the most part because I can't give an NIL. So we're going through here. I'm looking for a fullback, man. I know that we have Quentin and that we could put a running back there, but I really want to find a guy who has some trucking and who has some ability here. Fullbacks they should be a dime a dozen, but they're really not. A lot of them are blocking and a lot of them are utility, but then they're 180 pounds and it's like, okay, this isn't exactly what I'm looking for. So eventually I think that role is just going to go to a contact-seeking running back or an elusive bruiser running back. But, for right now, we do have the 2 fullbacks on the roster. Ezard's going to be here for another year, so I'm happy about that. Just going through and trying to see what we can find here. We'll skip ahead a little bit. Now, what caught my eye about Cameron, last name Herneyweeks, is just the size, 6'2", 201. It's hard to find pure runners who are bigger, especially with the 2 or 3 star rating. 3 star, not so much, but 2 star, it's a little difficult, but he's only 79 speed, so it's not something I'm super interested in. Don Streeter is a good option. Again, these 2 ATHs, I don't know if I've scouted either one yet. No, I have not. I don't know if I'm going to end up scouting them. Dante Bosby, guy I want and I really want. He has good trucking skills, even though he's a blocking back. He's got good strength. He's really got good ability, so he's a fullback I'm keeping an eye on here. I'm going to go ahead and offer Henry Brooks here. Don't know exactly what he brings, but as you can see, we're not scouting a whole lot right now. We're just trying to fill the roster out and hope we can hit on some of them. We have 400 hours, so it's not like I have a whole lot of hours to scout these guys. I really got to fill out the roster and just kind of bank on these guys developing. And that's why I've upgraded the facility so much, and I made sure that in the future my coaches are, recruiters or motivators so that they get those boosts to progression and stuff like that. Go through practice here real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and hop into the FAU game. And to start out, we're going to come out in a little bit of split back here. I'm going to motion Isaiah Bryant out. It's 3rd down and 7. Let's see if we can go ahead and pick this up. I'm going to go ahead and look for Bryant, see if he's open, and see if he can make a play. He is open, but he runs into his own receiver, and we end up getting stopped. And it is 4th and 3. And we are actually going to go for it. Let's see what we got here. Looking for a little read option, I think. I think 4th and 3 is a good time to run it. A little veer option right. See if I can read it correct. I keep it, and we get stuffed. And I pitch, and we fumble. And trust me, fellas, you're going to see this about 5,000 times a season. And we're going to hop back in with 2:54 left in the second. Trying to get another touchdown before half here. Woodson's back to pass. He's going to scoot up in the pocket. Great block by the tight end, number 29. Woodson's going to try to get out of bounds. He does get out of bounds and stop the clock. Let's see if we can score. And we do get a score before halftime. 7-7 tie. And we get the ball back one more time. Our defense is pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. The Sim defense is pretty ridiculous. But they have their flaws. I mean, it is a Navy defense. But they're pretty good. Going to send X up the field. Woodson's going to scramble for another 7 yards. We're going to go ahead and stay in this whole drive here. We're going to go ahead and hit him with a little fullback dive here with Quentin. See what Quentin can do. Motion by Isaiah. Go ahead and hand it off to Quentin. He's going to bounce off, and it looks like he's going to pick up that 1st down. He does get the 1st down. It stops the clock for a little bit. We're going back to the flood concept. No, we are not going back to the flood. We're going post corner. Or corner curl, whatever that play is called, Woodson's going to scramble again here. He's going to pick up another 1st down. He's going to point out a man. No blocking, but that's all right. It is raining out here, so, if they don't have the natural on, some of them are going to play as well. But Woodson's ability to run, man, is just, it's key here. 87 speed, 90 excel. We're going to run a little crosser here. Nobody's open. We're going to find Isaiah in the corner. Not in the corner. We're going to find him on the sidelines, and he's going to drop the ball, which is fine because it stops the clock for us. Now, our passing game doesn't have a whole lot of variety, as you guys are going to see. We just don't run a whole lot of concepts, and we don't have a whole lot of passing formations, which is fine. We're going to send Smith on a little crosser here and see if he's going to get open, but we'll just find Isaiah underneath. Good throw by Woodson, and we're not even going to run the hurry up. I think we're going to go back to the strong flood here. Yes, we are. Strong flood is really good. Cruz is a good tight end. He gets open a lot on this play. We're going to see if we can hit him here. And no, we're not, but Woodson's going to have room to step up, and he's going to make a man miss and get out of bounds and stop the clock. Don't know why he decided to hurdle, but you got to get style points. I mean, you guys saw last game, he threw the ball at the defender, so this isn't your typical Navy team. Boone Thomas isn't your typical Navy coach, so he'll allow that type of thing. You got to let your players be who they are, Woodson's going to step up again and get another 1st down, try to stiff arm a man, and he's not going to be able to do it, but we're going to call timeout with 23 seconds left. We should have 2 or 3 plays left, probably 2 at the most, but let's see what we got here. We got a little post-wheel concept going on. We're going to go ahead and send that curl route to the end zone and see if we can hit him, and we do hit him, but it is just a terrible throw by Woodson. He read it. I don't really know what writing out the meaner means, but with these pure runner Navy quarterbacks, you guys are going to see that quite often. Here we're going to be looking for Bryant on the angle route. See if he can get something going here. Woods is just going to step up in the pocket. They're not even keeping an eye on him, and he is going to get bashed into the end zone. Probably shouldn't have scored on that one. We shouldn't have hurdled. We probably should have just trucked and got in there, but like I said, Woodson is all about style points, man. You guys are going to see that a lot this year. We are going to take a 14-7 lead before halftime, and yeah, I don't know what that guy's name is. I don't know what the mascot's name is, but we'll call him Rammy or whatever, Dude is getting it. 2:45 in the third quarter. They had a long drive, it looks like. We're going to try and get this 3rd and 8 here. We're going to put Bryant in motion and see what he can do. We are looking for a circle deep, though. Bryant is going to get open underneath, though. We're going to go ahead and hit Isaiah here on the little crosser route, and he's going to get out of bounds and preserve some clock as well and preserve some wear and tear, too. He's a little guy, man. I think he's about 5'8". We do end up scoring on that drive. It's 21-10 now. So we are at a good pace here. Our defense is playing really well. Offense is playing really well as well. Going to go with a little fullback wham. Or is this a dive zone? I'm not sure. It looks like it's wham. Quentin is having a huge game. I think he's got about 140 yards rushing at this point. Our guard is going to go down with an injury, but not a big deal. We still have the ball. Same drive. Up 21-10. We are on the 10-yard line. We're going to run a little... I forget inside veer. I think this is what this one is called, inside veer. I'm not very good at reading the inside veers. I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever I have to read a defensive tackle, it just is not my forte. It goes really fast. I think I will get better at it, but it's just gonna take me some time. Now here's a veer as well, but we're reading the defensive end. And again, I didn't read him well, but he didn't play it well, and Charles Robinson's gonna go ahead and pick up some yards on that one. Sorry about that. I had some I don't know, something stuck in my throat there, but yeah, we're going to go and run duo here and shotgun and see what our boy Bryant can do. Hut, and yep, wide open hole, and we're going to take a 28-10 lead here, and there's really not much FAU can do to stop us, which is, I'm surprised, honestly, because FAU is a good team, and typically when you play FAU, especially on the sim, they're good, they have talent, and their offense is pretty good too, but I have only played about 2 or 3 defensive possessions, so I would say that's why. And it takes me, that's what happens when I play defense. It takes me a while, especially in this dynasty, to figure out defense. I do, and I think I have got a rhythm, and I eventually figure it out. But I don't know, defense is really hard on this game, man. It's just really, really difficult. And we're going to go ahead and get this one with Charles Robinson. I thought he was going to take that one to the house, but he doesn't. He's going to get us in scoring position, though, and we're going to go ahead and feed our beast, Isaiah Bryant. He's going to go ahead and dodge under a tackle and almost get in there himself. And then we are going to go ahead and run this fullback off tackle with Quentin and see if Easer can get in the end zone in here. And he is going to walk in, but he decides to fly in the end zone. He ends up with 21 carries, 155 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Huge game out of him. He has a pretty good season, man. He's pretty good. He's been pretty good so far, and he continues it. I go back and forth between him and Vic, just because I got to keep him fresh, man. Wear and tear is lethal in this game, so I got to keep him fresh. Looking at our quarterbacks here, Ben Minnis is the guy that I would be most interested in, but he's not super fast. So we're gonna go ahead and take him off there as well. Now David Riggins, I should probably show you guys this stuff, but I haven't been showing you guys the scouting at all because I haven't fully scouted these guys. But I think he's like 84 speed or something. Actually, we might see it here. Yeah, 80 speed. So 80, 85 with 78 throw power. So one of the faster 2-stars you'll see here. Javier Beauplan and Conrad. Again, I'm really liking these guys, and they're both really interested. Looks like they're going to end up being Navy cadets. As long as none of these bigger schools are offering. Louisville's in the running for both of those guys. And then this guy's the guy we really want. He's like the key, other than the 2 receivers. But yeah, I mean, 77 strength, 80 trucking, 70 carry. So he's a blocking fullback, but really I think to me that's more of like he's a utility guy, right? All 3 of these receivers would really help us out. And then Tyree Davis would really help us out at tight end, but it looks like he's going to end up going to Rice, even though they don't have an offer yet, but he's not budging on that too much. Offensive line, man. Offensive line is really hard because we can't send these guys pro, so it's hard for me to even look at the 3-stars because we're not going to be able to send them pro. And even if it's not a huge deal breaker, I feel like that's a thing that they consider a lot in this game. Defensive ends, we're looking at all 2 stars. I'm really interested in Hamilton. I don't know if I have him fully scouted at this point, but he's a guy I'm really interested in. And then we're going to take Mallory off the board. And we're just going to go through here. And Mike Wayne is another guy we're super interested in. Tobias Heaney as well. Just some guys who could fill some roster rules. You know, nothing crazy. But Micah Knight is another dude who I really want. Roach is good too, but I think Knight ends up being a little bit better. And he's someone that I really hope that we can get. And we're trying to schedule Alani Roach. Is that his name? Alani Roach. And as you guys can see, our grades are pretty good. And that continues. Like, our grades are good for some reason. I mean, we have really good academics, and then brand exposure is not bad. And I mean, they're pretty decent grades, honestly, especially for the tier of team that Navy is. We just don't have any NIL, so we just can't offer anything, really. So it makes it tough. But yeah, that's pretty much the recruiting here. I think we're going to go ahead and get out of here in a second. Might have some more to look at. See if we can add anybody, actually. Lemon could be a guy we're interested in, but I don't think we're going to add him to the board. I think he's a blocking back or a blocking fullback anyway, so there's really no point. And I'm just showing you, like, the NIL, man. Like, for quarterback, like, we got to go after 2 stars, basically, or gadget receivers and hope that they can, you know, work out. Shaden Howe is a guy I think we had on our board previously, and I don't think he was anything special at all. And same thing with Yazzie. We took Yazzie off earlier. We're going to Ohio here just because that is my coach's pipeline. See if we can find anything here. We're going to find Zach Crumpler. Just someone, I don't know why we didn't go after Terrence Berry exactly. I think maybe just because Crumpler was a little bit bigger. So Crumpler is 6'2", 216. And, you know, we're looking for size for this option offense, basically, is what we're doing right now. So I'm just searching for him, seeing if I can find anybody who's a little bit bigger. We're going to go ahead and look at Crumpler and see what he's got. Oh, we had Terrence Berry on there already, and he was 77 speed, so we're going to go ahead and remove him, actually. And then Zach Crumpler is actually going to be pretty decent. I think we end up offering him here. We do end up offering him. Don't know exactly what I was interested in. Maybe I just had a feeling, but he's 83 XL, so nothing crazy, but he's not bad. He's a good target. He's good size, so you know, you need some size out there. We're going to jump into UAB here and start off with a little fullback wham. And why not give it to the hot guy, right? You know what I mean? Dude is sexy. Gets an 18-yard rush on the first carry of the game for Quentin Ezzard. Then we're going to go a little rocket toss. Rocket toss is something that in the video game you really love to use it, but in real life they don't use it a whole ton. Their running backs don't get a whole lot of carries. They get enough, but it's mostly the fullback and running back. But right now you kind of have to gamify it. I do end up changing my tune a little bit on that because I think I end up falling into the trap of running the read option too much, which sounds crazy in a triple option offense. In a wing offense, it sounds nuts, but I think I've run it a little too much. Here we're going to get Charles Robinson on the outside, and he's cold for some reason, but he's going to go ahead and pick up 15 yards on his first carry. Charles Robinson is great. Love that dude. 13 carries, 51 yards last game. Not as good as Bryant, but solid running back. Go ahead and little play action here, and we're going to go ahead and get sacked. Nothing really we could do on that one. Play action's pretty ridiculous in this game, especially if you don't have a crazy play action rating for your quarterback. I don't know what Woodson's is, but I imagine it's not too great considering his overall. Now we are going to go a little veer option here, see if we can read it correctly here, and we actually end up reading it right, and I get the pitch out to Bryant, and he is going to take this one up the field, and he's going to get stopped on about the 6-yard line. So another great run by Bryant. And you got to go red zone offense here. You know, red zone offense is all about getting outside. So we're going to see if we can run a little halfback dive and take it outside with Madden. This is like Madden's only carry of the whole season, I believe. I mean, I just don't play them. Like, I'm not playing him or Baptiste just because they're not real players. I'm not doing it. Like, Madden could really be an asset, too. He's like 90 speed. He has shifty or something like that. We're going to go ahead and toss it out here to Bryant, and he's going to score. And basically, we're going to get the ball back with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in this first quarter. I think we're in scoring position already. Yeah, we are on the 1-yard line to start. So, really good starting field position. We're going to go ahead and capitalize here. Run a little veer option, see what we can do. And we're going to go ahead and read that. And it's good to go. Quentin's going to get in for his 4th touchdown in 2 games. About 6 quarters, I would say, if not less. 5 quarters, probably. Then we're going to get the ball right back as well. And once again, we are on, their 12-yard line. So our defense is playing great, and our offense is just being efficient this game. We're going to go ahead and get Charles Robinson out here, and we are going to take this one in. And we are going to go up 21-0 in the first quarter against UAB, who isn't a bad team. They're really not a bad team. I think overall they might actually even be better than us. I think they're like 68 or 69, and we're like a 66, 65. And once again, we are going to play the moment on the goal line and hand it off to Ezard again. And Ezard, Quentin, dude's going to score again. We're pretty much going to blow this team out. It doesn't really ever get competitive. We're going to get the ball back here before halftime, see if we can score. And I'm just going to show you guys that I am on Heisman. Yep, I am on Heisman difficulty. Don't know if you guys saw that at the beginning of the video, but just wanted to show that because we're having a really easy time right now. Wanted to make sure that nobody knows I'm no wuss. But yeah. I don't think you're a wuss if you don't play on Heisman. Heisman can be ridiculous, but I think if you do play on Heisman, it will make you better. And I know like people will say it's cheesy. It really isn't that cheesy. It's really not. It's just that you can't make as many mistakes. Which is kind of how it is. I mean, if you turn the ball over a lot in real life, you're probably not going to win. We're going to find Isaiah here and not get the first down. We're going to call a timeout, though, and see if we can do anything with this drive here. We're going to come out and we're going to run a little flood concept. They're backing off here, so we should have Isaiah open underneath, but Woodson's just going to take off, follow his blocks. Great block by Smith there. Smith is a guy, man, big receiver, almost a tight end at slot receiver, a guy I wish I could have had, and kind of like the prototype for the receiver that we should go after. We don't necessarily go after those types of receivers, though, later on, as you guys will see. And as you guys have seen our receivers currently, we have one guy on there, and I think he's a elusive route runner. I don't know if he's even a physical route runner, but he's 6'2", 215, Mabin. He's just a 2-star recruit, but he's a guy I think can replace Smith, and then the other two are kind of smaller. Witz is going to take this one up the middle, and we're just going to go ahead and settle for a field goal here. We're going to make it 31-10 as long as I can make this. Now, do I make this? I don't know, because that thing is moving fast, so let's see if I can hit it here. And I'm just waiting it out. Don't know what I'm waiting for. 3-mile-per-hour wind. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of nervous. Looks like I'm about to shit my britches here. Don't know what I'm doing, really, and I go ahead and drill that field goal. It is 31-10. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the second half here. I don't know if there's too many more moments left, but it looks like we are actually in the red zone once again. So, like I said, we really whomped this team here. They really didn't stand a chance. It was 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Go ahead and get the ball to Isaiah again. And that safety, I would imagine, it might be a... Yep, box specialist safety. Okay, I was going to say it might be a linebacker, but Wilkinson is going to be a safety there, thankfully. Later on, we do end up playing linebackers who are just crazy, but right now, it is what it is. It is what it is. And we're going to go ahead and run a little pitch here to Ezard or Quentin or Ezard and see what he can do, and he's not going to be able to get outside there. So now we're in a 3rd and 13 situation. Got to pretty much throw the ball here. We're going to go double post. Actually, we're not going to go double post. We're going to go corners with the angle route. See if we can hit Bryant here, and we're just going to get sacked. So that's going to end that drive, but not a huge deal. It's 31-10. See if I can make this field goal. This one seems like it's moving even faster. And we missed this one. Yep. I suck at kicking field goals in this game. I will be the first to admit that. I am quite terrible at kicking field goals. So UAB is going to actually make it a game here. It's 31-17. We're actually going to play defense. I think this might be the first time that you guys have seen a defensive play or possession. So let's go ahead and see what we can get here. Grant is in the game. They're going to run a play action, and we're going to go ahead and get a stop there. Good play by 6, which is Taylor Ortega. Dog. 68 overall. Just a straight dog, though, for literally no reason at all. I don't know. He's not athletic. He's not big. Nothing. We're in the red zone once again. We're going to run a little RPO here. See if we can hit Brian in the flat. And we're going to just go ahead and hand it off to Robinson. He's going to run right up the middle. A lot of running room this game. He's got 10 carries for 76 yards, 7.6 yard average. Can't ask for more than that. And then we are going to go ahead and run a little quarterback power counter. See if we can get anything going with Woodson. Woodson's going to take the snap, and he's going to hit the middle and right up the middle for a first down. We don't quite score. He's got 9 carries for 100 yards in this game, though. And we haven't really been playing a whole lot. In general, we've just been playing in the red zone, so obviously the team is playing pretty good in sim, and Bryant is just going to go ahead and seal this one by leaping into the end zone. And do we have any more moments here? It does not look like it. So that's going to be the video, boys. Follow, like, subscribe. Let's get this thing going.